I think it's kind of just based off how I feel. I know we have a protocol for me right now, but kind of just based on how I feel and communicating if I need to like dumb it down for a little bit and kind of just come back the next day, or if I just have a lesser load that day. So it's kind of just to see how I feel with that day. So.
How would you assess the secondary's performance so far? A couple weeks into camp.
I feel like we've had the momentum in terms of just battling with the offense. I feel like they've made some great plays, obviously, and I think we've kind of just took that over the last couple practices. And I think that's just good for us, and building our confidence and knowing that we can play with anyone in the league, and going against this type of offense every day. I think that only helps us in the long run.
What's the most noticeable difference this training camp with Al?
I think kind of just just play calling and everything that's in it right now. I feel like we just play fast based off how we installed the new system, and kind of just being confident in what he calls and knowing that everything he calls is for a reason. I think he's very intentional on how he installs and how we process that information. I think that's what I've noticed so far, and how we've, like I've mentioned, with just the momentum. I feel like that's how we've kind of built that momentum so far, just with how we've processed everything and playing fast.
What's the most you've gotten out of testing your health?
I say just making sure my speed is up. I think they track our speeds every day, so I think that's one of the important things, to make sure I'm not having any soft tissue injuries, along with recovering from my knee, just because of not being out there. But I think just making sure that I'm running constantly and not being stagnant too much, because I think that's that provokes more injuries, I guess. But just staying active as much as I can.
You mentioned playing fast. How can that help this defense in particular in the second?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if we play fast, I feel like everyone else comes along in terms of the front linebackers and kind of just the entire team. I think we all kind of just gravitate off one another, and if one side is doing better than the other, I think the other side's going to be like, okay, it's time for us to step up and do our part. So I think that's starting fast and playing fast. I think it all coincides with each other.
Considering the small number of starters that have played in years past in the preseason,